loves. So today you are going to be doing my makeup with me, and we're going to talk about how to take yourself more seriously, as well as, allow other people to take you more seriously. This is kind of a series I want to work on because I know this is something many people struggle with, is how to cut the people-pleasing act, okay? So let's begin. Let's jump right into it. First, going to begin with primer, of course. I already did skincare. This is the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer plus niacinamide 4%. Don't know what that does, but more the merrier. So as you can tell, I am a bit sick right now, but I definitely want to get more consistent with uploads and discussing different topics. Okay, I want to make this more of like a commentary and podcast channel as well. Anyway, so let's get right into it. How to start taking yourself more seriously. I want to begin with setting boundaries and saying no. So, as easy as it sounds, if you are someone who catches yourself being a people pleaser and honestly like going with the flow, even though like within you're kind of like, I don't really like that and I would prefer not to do that, but I also don't want to upset other people. That is a people pleasing kind of tendency, correct? However, something you need to separate is what you need to separate from that is yourself from other people and expectations. Okay, so what I mean by that is, why do you feel the need to care so much about other people versus yourself? I feel that has a lot to do with sense of self-worth and almost like putting your value into the hands of others and needing to almost like relate their judgment to your own sense of self-worth. Okay, so for example, let's say a friend is like, hey, do you want to go out today and like party or whatever? This is just an example, and you're kind of like, in your head you're kind of like, no, I really honestly want to stay home, but I know that, let's say Sarah, your friend, is gonna be upset with you if you say no. Already off the bat, you're prioritizing not hurting Sarah's feelings versus what you truly want to do. And one thing I always like talk about is everyone's life is their own to live, and regardless of societal rules and norms, like, we make our own rules. That's something you have to realize, is that you're in control of your own life and you have to act boundlessly outside of what is expected according to norms. Okay, so like, okay, and if you offend Sarah's feelings just by choosing to stay home and choosing peace for today, that's a Sarah problem. Okay, because think about it, why is Sarah taking it so personally that you want to stay home and be a hermit? Sarah needs to go ask someone else, or just accept that, oh, I'm not gonna get everything or have everything my way. Like, I totally understand and respect your feelings and like your boundaries. Okay, because something with me is, since I was younger, I always felt I wasn't the best at making friends. Okay, and I would envy people who had a lot of friends, okay, or were popular, because that's something that I'm not. But now that I'm older, I realize I'm a very particular individual, and knowing and learning that like I am an introvert, or I'm an ambivert, but also like I recharge within my isolation. Okay, so like if my social battery runs out, I cannot be out. Like, I need to go home. Like, mom, come pick me up, because I'm about to just literally plop on the floor, because it's like also like my empathetic nature makes it hard for me to like just say, hey, like it's not anything personal, but I just want to go home, because I don't want people to think, oh, like, am I just boring? See, that's my people pleasing tendency, that I don't want people to feel bad or almost like question their self and be like, am I not fun enough? But no, it's really nothing personal. It's that I recharge when I'm in my room. Okay, like I love being in my room. I know my place of my temple and whatnot. So we all have people pleasing tendencies, and you also have to know that don't blame yourself for being a people pleaser, because we as humans have the tendency to seek community, and like without community and people, we wouldn't be able to operate or function as a society. So it's almost like an instinctual trait of ours, but you also have to be actively learning how to discern certain things and patterns, and seeing how your behaviors and actions leads to your own trap. Okay, so I'm using the Revlon Color Stay foundation. I'm gonna move on to concealer. Of course, we all know e.l.f. Camo Concealer, undefeated. Honestly, this is my favorite concealer. Okay, now I want to talk about, if you do not have respect for yourself, how do you expect others to respect you? Genuine question. Let's think about it. Say you can't say no to Sarah, even though deep down you really want to say no, but you're so afraid of hurting Sarah's feelings, and almost like feeling like, oh, is she gonna not want to be my friend? Is this gonna cause drama? Is this gonna create problems? Okay, that is a definitely valid concern that you have, but you have to realize every time you don't say no when you feel like saying no only enables the behavior of people like Sarah to think, hey, this person, person A, which is you, person B, they're never gonna say no. They're always so agreeable to everything. So, like, I'm sure she's gonna say yes. I'm sure she's gonna want to go despite anything. Like, they're always gonna be down for everything. But if you don't want to be that person, and if you really truly want to express your mind, you have to realize, like, this is a fault of your own. Like, you're responsible for how other people treat you. It's kind of a scary reality, right? Because we always want to play victim. Like, I even catch myself playing victim in certain situations, but you truly have to understand, our world is a reflection of ourselves, okay? And people act as a reflection of you. Let me get into that after I start blending. People act according to how you treat yourself, and what I mean by this is, if I'm someone who finds it easy to say no, and like establish my own boundaries and say, hey, you know what, I'm an introvert and you know that, right? So like, only people who respect my boundaries and understand that I'm an introvert will be my friends, and everyone else, bye, it's okay, because we're not meant to be friends, we're not incompatible, right? Let me keep blending and let me get into it. All right, stopped blending for a while and I put my concealer on. So also, what I really want to add to this is, you have to let go of feeling the need to be liked by anyone and everyone. So going back to the theory and ideology of us wanting to belong somewhere, fit in somewhere, and seek community, you have to really discern, is it worth it? Does it align with who you are as a person? Is it worth it to have people like Sarah as a friend, just to be someone who is valued, or whatever valued means to you? Does your value to Sarah truly matter at the end of the day if your respect for yourself is being compromised? Genuine question. Let's talk about it. So I feel with people pleasers and people who are trying to find a way to start respecting themselves more and taking themselves seriously and needing to gain respect from others, they might question, why am I not gaining the respect that I think I deserve? Well, ask yourself, do you on a day-to-day basis treat yourself with respect? And, even things such as self-deprecating humor is a detriment to gaining self-respect and self-love for yourself. So if you are one to be like laughing about, oh, like, why do I look so ugly today, this and that, this is all about your subconscious programming and thinking. So without even knowing it, you are instilling this pattern of false sense of belief within yourself. And maybe it's not false, maybe this is a projection of some sort of insecurity that you're like, why do I look so ugly? Like, wait, like, do I look good? I feel like I look really bad. We all go through these insecurities as human beings, but like me, I personally have worked very hard on treating myself with kindness and respect. When I look at myself in the mirror, even if I feel, it's not my best day, I compliment myself, and daily positive affirmations can really help you build that self-worth, okay? So you truly have to observe how you speak to yourself and how that correlates to how people treat you. We got the e.l.f. HD powder. This is gonna be very powdery. Look, this is almost like fairy dust. Okay, so whenever I find myself or others around me struggling to set their boundaries or take their boundaries seriously, I question and I ask, how important are those boundaries to you? And according to how important you label these boundaries, how important is it for people to respect those boundaries? Okay, so like if you don't find these boundaries that important, so like let's say your boundary is, oh, I don't really like whenever you talk about me behind my back. That's a very valid boundary. However, let's say we're gonna keep using Sarah. I'm sorry if your name is Sarah, but we're talking about a hypothetical Sarah. All right, but if the shoe fits. For example, if Sarah's like, oh, okay, totally, like your boundaries are very valid, like I respect that, yet she continues to do that, and you know that she does, right? And yet when you hear about this, or it still continues, this lack of respect from your friend Sarah, you dismiss it, you don't confront it, you don't address it, and you let it continue. That is a lack of respecting your own boundaries. So how do you expect people like Sarah or others outside of yourself to treat your boundaries with the same respect that you truly feel you deserve? We're gonna move on to eyebrows. And you have to almost seek perspective from outside of you. So let's say you're a people-pleasing person and you almost feel like you put everyone's needs above yours. Again, talking of Sarah, does Sarah ever do that for you? Is Sarah compromising an agreeable person to you? If the answer is no, you have to say, hey, how come I treat people with respect and I'm very compromising and agreeable and easygoing and respectful of other people, yet I don't get it in return? So why do you feel the need to become a martyr for everyone and sacrifice your own, like dignity or self-respect just so that you can be accepted? You really truly have to let go of the fear of not being liked, because let's be honest, we're all individually very unique people, okay? We're very individualistic. We just don't give ourselves enough credit, okay? So this is probably another video I want to talk about, but like, beauty standards and trends nowadays that many people follow, and you see a lot of younger generations, that's including me, what the heck, but like, we're almost being programmed to compare ourselves to unrealistic beauty standards because that's what we are always focusing on and looking at, and we're comparing ourselves this and that. But our power is that no one is like us and no one can ever be us, no matter what. And that is something that you truly have to value within yourself. So, talking about this, because we're all so different, it's impossible that everyone finds you likable. And maybe if that's a hard truth you find like hard to swallow, then that's something that you also need to ask yourself. Why do I think that I need to be liked by everyone in order to feel worthy? Because look, I can be, narcissistic. I can be cocky sometimes and be like, I'm a very likable I do believe I'm a likable person. But I also do accept not everyone has to like me, and not everyone does like me. I've been in many situations where I haven't even spoken a word and I'm already disliked and hated and judged, because despite everything else going around you, you can't control other people. You can only control yourself. So at the end of the day, ask yourself, with all of the friends I have, and I'm really good at making friends because like I'm very agreeable, I'm a people pleaser, and look, people pleaser can be taken as a negative term, but I'm just saying, like, everyone has these tendencies, so don't feel alone or feel like it's the worst thing ever to be. I'm just saying that whenever you are a people pleaser, you almost have a lot of people around you because you find your self-worth and almost like your sense of purpose and belonging in having connections with others and people accepting you, correct? Then now assess those friendships and those connections and relationships that you have in your life and ask yourself, what are the connections that I find myself almost questioning and asking myself, is this worth it? Like, do I truly enjoy this connection? Do I thrive within this friendship or connection? And if you don't, like, why are you actively choosing to put yourself in situations that literally hinder you? Ask yourself, okay? And we're gonna move on to eyeliner. Off the baking powder, okay? The pastry has been baked to perfection. Anyways, I wanted to honestly use a personal experience so that maybe this will help y'all out and not feeling alone in this, and like how I learned from my experience not to be a people pleaser and to work through those tendencies, is that like I would see myself, especially like in anywhere before high school up until high school, wanting to fit in and almost blaming myself for not fitting in and feeling I had to put on a false sense of self to be accepted, okay? Because especially in high school, everyone's in their little groups, cliques, and they already have established friends and whatnot. So it's like you're in an environment where you feel like it's only acceptable to be accepted. So I would think I had so terrible FOMO, which means fear of missing out, and feeling like I needed to be included everywhere. I needed to be out and about, this and that. Even if I didn't feel like being out, it was almost that like, oh, like I just have to, because if I'm not out, then I'm just gonna be alone. Like, that's so lame, that kind of feeling. But now today I've accepted I truly appreciate and enjoy my solitude and my recharging. Like, I am an introvert at heart. I feel like once I recharge, I can be as extroverted as I want, and I can sit here and talk to you in an extroverted manner and assert myself, but like truly I thrive independently, okay? So I would think that like it was just I didn't want to be viewed as someone who didn't have a lot of friends, or that like I didn't have nothing to do on the weekend. And that also goes to say, we as humans really care about self-image because that's something that we prioritize as a society, is how your reputation is or how you're viewed as a person, your appearance. So everything about image and persona is very important in this society. However, like you really have to ask yourself, why do I care so much? Like, is it going to be the end of the world if for some reason you are like, you know what, I'm not gonna pretend to be someone I'm not anymore, and I'm not even gonna care this much about someone who doesn't care about me and let go of this. I'm gonna seriously like just establish better boundaries and healthier emotional management skills and like reassess my patterns and my connections, and these people fall away. Is that what you're afraid of? Because if that's what you're afraid of, think about it like this. It is painful to lose people and connections and step out of your comfort zone to, stand up for yourself. It's painful, it's hard, and might even seem nearly impossible for some. However, at the end of the day, all of our challenges and obstacles that we individually faced within our lifetime is all for our higher good or a lesson to be learned. So if you don't actively pursue like pushing the walls of being a people pleaser down, like the universe, God, whoever you believe in, they're going to choose it for you. And what I mean by that is, if you don't choose your own path, if you don't actively act on, hey, this person is kind of negative and unhealthy and toxic, and I can sense that, but I'm not going to do anything about it because I'm scared of confrontation, I'm scared of losing this person, I'm scared of whatever. Do you think that this toxic cycle is, going to be a stagnant or linear process? At some point, you're going to have to learn, maybe even like in a harder way, that like you should have done it. You should have just cut them off, because now look what happened. Maybe they even come around to backstab you. Maybe they even drop you and you're like, what? I was gonna drop you first, but you didn't. So it's like, you really have to put yourself first, and don't think it's selfish for, like prioritizing your own boundaries, this and that. We only have ourselves at the end of the day, so why do you care that like other people find you selfish or uncompromising, this and that? They can think whatever they want. Like I said, you can't control other people. Now honestly, I don't think I can do eyeliner while talking to y'all. Like, this is a very quiet process, so I'm gonna do this off camera. This is the Maybelline Master Precise All Day. I do like this one, and I've never really done like eyeliner before, but I recently have been learning new ways and new tricks to enhance my beauty and like my makeup looks and stuff. So that's also something I'm wanting to talk about, how to find your personal style. And maybe like I kind of want to do a eyeshadow look, who knows. Like, I've been really wanting to learn a lot of like try new things, be more eccentric with my personality. So like before, I would be like through outfits, and still now, but like I also really love makeup now and whatnot, because it just really is how I express my creativity, is through how I like accessorize myself. Like if I'm feeling moody, maybe I'm wearing blue eyeshadow. Maybe if I'm feeling bold, it could be any of these colors really. This is probably like both expired, I don't know, but I've been a minimalist, so I haven't been like restocking on like eyeshadow or anything, but I really want a new eyeshadow palette. But I've been like restocking on like the needs, the must-haves, so like primer, this and that. So like, what do we think, guys? Let me see. I want to pick this on camera with y'all. I'm feeling I think I want to do like pink. So I kind of want to do, see, this is horrible. I can't show y'all, but I will, you know what? Let's prime my eyelids together. I'm not going out. Like, this is literally just for funsies. So I have this like cheap primer. This is something I need to restock as well, like eyeshadow primer. Put that on my lid so it's you know, priming the eyelid for an opaque foundation for my eyeshadow, you know, and allowing the eyeshadows to stick. I know my stuff, okay? I know my stuff. I need to get new brushes as well. So once you put yourself first and not allow your boundaries and the respect people give you to be compromised. So let's say your 2024 resolution is, you know what? I'm going to start standing up for myself. I'm going to start speaking my mind. I'm going to start, or I'm going to stop fearing confrontation. I feel that almost comes from a place of like a controlling tendency though for people pleasers. Like, you feel you almost have to control your surroundings by being like, hey, like, I don't want to confront this because I don't want it to lead to something. I don't want it to end a relationship. But think about it. That's controlling, because you can't control how other people are. So you're almost like, but by me controlling and like deciding that, oh, my boundaries aren't that important, so I guess it's fine. That's you controlling your own like circumstance. So like, I almost feel that's a cop out and like controlling how things go for you. Okay? And something we all need to practice is like letting go of control, and that manifests in many different ways for many different people. My controlling tendency is like, let me think, I want to control, I guess, I mean, honestly, I can relate to that one. And I also want to control like, yeah, I can't really think right now, but we all have controlling tendencies in any aspect, whatever. But as people pleasers, okay, maybe we're gonna call us PPs. Maybe not, that's not that cute. Puppies. That's a cute one. Like, we're like puppy dogs, like wanting attention and stuff. Okay, let's talk about puppies. Let's say your New Year's resolution is, I need to let go of this like feeling the need to be liked by everyone, okay? And let's say you start realizing, why is no one reaching out to me? Why is why does no one really want to hang out with me or like reach out? Because you almost find yourself always reaching out or saying yes to everything, but now this time you said no. So now that they don't reach out, you're like, oh no, what's going on? But this is literally proof that it's working. It's working because what is that quote? It's like, I believe it's almost like a religious quote where God removes people from your life because he's heard conversations that you weren't there for. And if you think about it, everything in our life has a purpose and a meaning to it. So people removing yourself from your life, this, regardless of if you are the one who chose this by saying no and they left you, or if they just chose to leave, you shouldn't think about it in the way of, oh no, like, I knew it, this is what's gonna happen, like, this is so painful, so should I go ask for their forgiveness? Should I apologize? Stop being a puppy. Enough with the puppy, okay, energy and needing attention, needing to be liked, this and that. Like I said, we are working on banishing that part of ourselves, because if your friend or, lover, family, whoever truly cared for you and loved you and wanted the best for you, they will respect your boundaries regardless of how selfish they might sound to you. Because like selfishness is can be mistaken for just prioritization of self. Am I selfish because I want to take the day off and just do my makeup and talk to y'all? If for some reason one of my friends was like, hey, let's hang out, and I was like, I honestly don't feel like hanging out. Am I selfish for that? No. Is it selfish, however, for these people to expect you to want to go out with them for no reason at all? They're like, oh, just because. You should just want to go out. Yeah, that is selfish. However, like I said, you are enabling these people into thinking that way and taking advantage of your puppy, like, nice energy by not saying no and not standing up for yourself and not setting your boundaries and actively practicing your boundaries and like stating them, communicating them. People can't read your mind, okay? And that's something I have to tell myself. No one's a mind reader, and maybe there are mind readers like psychics and whatnot, but it's like, let's not make assumptions and let's not set expectations for anyone outside of ourselves, because at the end of the day, who can we control? Only ourselves. So let's move on to eyeshadow. A bit of baby pink shadow on my lids, okay? And I will do eyeliner off camera, but I wanted to talk about this scenario. I've heard a YouTuber talk about this. I don't remember their names. However, you know, this is not my own theory or whatnot analyses. But let's think about a bully. And let's call this bully, Brittany. Okay, I don't know. And then let's call the bully's friend Ashley. These are just made up names, all right? So the bully, Brittany, is seen as a bad person, okay? Someone who bullies people and steps on other people to find some sort of like self-worth. And Brittany's best friend, Ashley, however, she is viewed as someone who's really nice, and Ashley's like, I'm a nice person, I promise, like, you know, like, I'm not a bully, even if my best friend's a bully. However, between these two people, I personally, and I honestly feel like other people as well, respect Brittany more than Ashley. And I know that sounds crazy, but let me explain why. Because at the end of the day, Brittany is true to herself by being a bully, okay? And she doesn't care how other people view her in like putting other people down. Like, she's not gonna lie and be like, oh, like, I'm a nice person, like, I swear, even though she actively bullies people. Whereas Ashley, she enables her best friend by being her best friend and being best friends with a bully who hurts other people, and by watching Brittany bully other people and not saying anything and not speaking up, because she's like, oh, like, I'm nice, even though like I don't stand up for anyone, even though I enable my best friend and am friends with a bully, like, I'm a nice person because I don't bully and I'm nice to people. And this is the reason why being nice and being kind is a very big major like difference. There's a major difference between them. Being nice is almost like you know, when guys are, I'm a nice guy, I promise, like, I'm a nice guy. And they're like, oh, nice guys finish last. Do you know why? It's because you're not respectable in your niceness by being an enabler and by not speaking up for what you feel is right, and you lack the morals and ethics, okay? So let's say there's another person named Jessica, who is one who's like a truly kind person, and whenever she sees Brittany bully others, she's like, that's not okay, and I don't know who you think you are, but you're not going to do that. And she helps the other person like get out of this bullying situation, whereas Ashley's a bystander and a follower, an observer. The bystander effect is a psychological like term, and it's an actual thing, because when people see things like injustice and they don't stand up for it because they're like, oh, someone's gonna help, like, it's not my responsibility, right? you're already the one of the bad guys by just watching it happen and by saying, oh, like, I can't do much about it. So this is also like that people pleasing thing. It's like, you ask yourself, why do I find myself not very likable if I don't just agree to everything? Because the difference between nice people and actual kind people is that kind people don't care how other people view them, and when injustice happens, they're not afraid of how people are going to view them by standing up against it. Whereas nice people are like, oh, like, everything's okay, and by me not saying anything and by me not taking sides, I'm a nice person, I'm likable, right? No, not necessarily. Okay, and let's get my eyeliner in. Eyeliner is done and winging, slaying, whatever. And a way I like to see, this is a perspective that I feel will help you overcome your puppy tendency, guys, okay? Because this is what helps me. I find empowerment in my ability to express myself regardless of like what anyone thinks, and I find myself a very unique and eccentric and individualistic person, so therefore, like, I'm not going to keep myself stuck and constrained by worrying about what other people are going to think. Not everyone's going to accept my energy, not everyone's going to agree with what I have to say, nor are they going to like me. And at the end of the day, you have to accept that that is a gift on its own. You are not for everyone. I am not for everyone. And if you are for everyone, then you're unoriginal, basic, simple. Think about it that way. I find empowerment in speaking my truth, and you should as well, because not everyone should have access to you. And whenever you speak your truth, whenever you say no, whenever you set your boundaries straight, that should be respected, and you speaking up for yourself only makes you stronger and seem more respectable. The people who stay in your life despite you almost feel like this person's like not the best person, however, like, I don't want to lose them. They don't respect you though. Clearly, you're just someone who is always there and someone who will never say no to them. And it's like, how easy do you have to make yourself seem in order to feel likable and worthy? Okay, like, one thing about me is, if I feel like, first of all, I just don't entertain disrespect, and I don't shy away from confrontation. I've always said that, and like, there are many times I feel confrontation isn't the answer, okay? And before, this is something I'm starting to learn as I grow older, is that sometimes no answer is an answer, okay? And we really have to be actively aware of like what is being communicated to us, not verbally, not literally, but what are you questioning in your head? Oh wait, why are they so mean to me? Why don't they listen or respect me? These doubts are your answer right there. The answer's in the pudding, okay? So it's like, maybe actively seek out support groups or ask people about a certain situation, seek another perspective. This will only help you confirm that you need to either drop certain patterns, cycles, people, connections. However, you yourself have to really believe that you are deserving of respect and you are deserving of everything good in your life. But it all starts from you. And it all starts from decluttering. And there's a quote, you don't water dead plants. So friendships that almost feel like one-sided, relationships, why are you the only one who's putting in the work? It takes two to tango. If you almost feel like without you, sacrificing yourself, being a martyr, and being a puppy to all these people, they wouldn't be your friend or be in a relationship with you, whatever, then it's not meant to be. because connections, relationships are not just with one person most of the time. The other person needs to put in the work as well. And if they don't, do they truly appreciate the connection that you have with one another? I don't believe so. And I feel like that's why actions speak louder than words. If these people aren't going out of their way to make sure, like, hey, like, I promise I'll respect your boundaries. I promise, like, I will be a better person to make sure you are in my life, and they follow through with it, then there's proof right there that they're working to better themselves as well, because they value your connection. But if not, what is it for that you're holding on to something that doesn't serve you? Because of fear of what's to happen if I lose this. But aren't you afraid of losing yourself? And aren't you afraid that if you feel lost right now, and if you feel like you lost yourself already, aren't you afraid of the consequences that'll happen if you don't get yourself back and claim your power again? Aren't you afraid of that? Being taken advantage of over and over again because you're just afraid. And something that like I'm very afraid of a lot of things. I have irrational fears. So I'm afraid of like deep dark waters. So like I think that's like thalassophobia. And I've always been afraid of sleeping in the dark alone, but that is something I overcame in 2023, you know, like pat myself on the back. But so it's like fear is all here, and everything is brain chemistry. You just have to really deprogram your brain into thinking and seeking another perspective, because we as humans are flawed, and we like to have our biases confirmed. So like selective exposure will only seek what we want to know and like what confirms our beliefs. But if you want to step out of that comfort zone, you're going to have to accept a hard truth. Okay? And if not, you're going to have to find it out in an even harder way. I think my makeup is absolutely beautiful right now, and I don't know if I'm going to put mascara on because like I'm not really going out, and honestly sometimes I feel like it looks more cleaner without mascara. But I want to take off my sock curls for y'all. And like I want to make this series, maybe it's gonna help me think of a series name, guys. I like the puppy for people pleasing, so like maybe puppy love, or maybe not puppy love because we don't love the people pleasing tendency. Help me think of something. But that's also something I want to talk about. I feel like dogs and cats are masculine and feminine energy. I've always thought that. It's a weird theory I have, but it's like dogs always seek this attention, and they're like always at your feet, like, hey, look at me, look at what I can do, and pet me. Whereas cats are like you have to work for their attention. So maybe I want to make a series like how to have that like purr energy almost. But y'all would have to understand what I mean by that. So help me think of a clever series name, guys. Okay, drop it down below. Any help would suffice. Let's put on this hot pink ink crayon. I just feel, guys, in this year, I'm into tarot. So like 2024 numerologically calculates to 8, which is the major arcana strength card. It's the infinity sign. So this year is all about inner strength and like taming that ego of yours and taming the beast, okay, with grace. So it's not like, oh, I'm taming you by being ridiculous, but by like quiet confidence, through quiet strength and endurance. Okay, like this year I truly want to focus on strengthening my sense of self, my sense of worth, my confidence, everything I feel is important to refine in terms of like empowering it. So I would highly encourage all of y'all who are watching this to list some of your weaknesses, some of your strengths, and what you really want to work on this year in 2024. And like I said, I want this to be a series. Okay, let me get my setting spray and probably close out this video. The e.l.f. makeup mist and set. Okay, this is a new setting spray I bought. So, in conclusion for this video, it is a luxury, it is a privilege to free yourself, okay? It's a privilege to not be accessible to everyone. And you should find beauty and honestly, like, confidence in that you're not for everyone, okay? What is it? He for everybody. That TikTok sounds like he for everybody. Don't be for everyone, okay? And if you feel like you have to be liked by everyone to be likable, let's work through that, okay? You are a likable person to certain people. Let's be honest, we don't like everyone either. It's hard to like everyone. I'm sure we find ourselves in certain situations being like, why am I being so mean? Like, why am I judging this person? I don't even know them. But like, that's something we have to work on, like, individually. There's many video ideas here that I'm talking about. But like, at the end of the day, it's basic to be likable to everyone. It's basic to cater to everyone. It's, however, more respectable and unique and empowering to truly set your boundaries straight and truly believe that you are a magical individual that has like a special, unique power to you. And despite what anyone else thinks, you have to always choose yourself at the end of the day, because you only have yourself. I only have myself at the end of the day. I can't blame other people for things that involve me, because I'm like, all right, you did me dirty, bye. And the people who are real ones will stick around, okay? Because if they're meant to be in your life, they're meant to guide you to your higher self and benefit you overall as a person. So only allow for people who make you feel whole to stick around, and those who take and don't reciprocate to just fall away, because they don't serve you and you don't need them. If anything, they need you. So you really have to like step away from these energies, see how they react, honestly, because if they're probably gonna take it like harsh and be like, you're such a fake person that you would just throw this all away, that you would just pay me out to be the bad guy. We are the only creators of our own reality, people, okay? So you can't blame anyone for anything that involves you. And, you know, there are certain cases where we may be victims to certain things. But let's start taking control over our lives and over the areas of life that we can control, and choose our own story, our own ending. Because we can always rewrite our story, okay? It's never too late for anything. And I truly, truly encourage y'all to start this journey with me of becoming a better you, okay? The you that just cannot care to give a F, I guess. Like, because I feel it's so empowering once you realize you are different, and that in itself is your power, that no one can be you, that not everyone has access to you, and it's empowering to say no. It's empowering to surround yourself with people who understand you and not take things personally, respect your boundaries. That's empowering. Only start surrounding yourself with people who allow you to grow and not hinder you, okay? I hope this long get ready with me chit chat video was inspiring for many of y'all. Definitely leave some comments down below about maybe personal experiences. I'd love to hear, and anything you want to share, don't hesitate. Feel free to leave some comments, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, turn on my bell notifications, and I shall see y'all next time. This was a very fulfilling conversation that we had. Much love to y'all. Bye guys.